Henry looked up at the tall mast. "What about the ship's mast?" asked Henry.
"It's to be chopped up and used for firewood, me hearty," said Salty.
"But it will be perfect for the castle flagpole," Henry chuffed.
"Then you best take it quickly, matey," said Salty.
Cranky soon lowered the mast onto the flatbed. And Henry raced off to the forest. He had to get to the tree before they cut it down. When Henry pulled into the forest, the tall pine tree was still there, and so was Sir Topham Hatt. "Please don't cut down the tall pine tree, sir," chuffed Henry. "I think this ship's mast would make a very good flagpole." "I would never cut the tall pine tree down," said Sir Topham Hatt. "The workmen are only here to collect some firewood. We always have a roaring fire at the Scottish Castle banquet." Henry was so happy it made his axles tingle. That night, the flag was hoisted on the old ship's mast. It looked wonderful. Henry thought it was the nicest thing he had ever seen, except for the tall pine tree. It was almost summer on the island of Sodor. All the engines were busy. They were looking forward to the start of the holiday season. One morning, Sir Topham Hatt came to the sheds. "It's time to get the seaside station ready for the summer visitors. Thomas, you are to pick up the deck chairs and windbreaks and take them to the beach." "Yes, sir," tooted Thomas. And he hurried off happily.
"You're looking very cheerful, Thomas,"
wailed Diesel. Thomas told Diesel all about his exciting job.
"Haven't you heard about the curse of the cliffs?"
wailed Diesel. "No," tooted Thomas nervously. Diesel snorted.
"Whenever the first engine of the holiday season goes around the headland, a terrible fog comes down over the cliffs."
Thomas didn't like the sound of that at all.
"The engine loses its way, and nobody knows where it goes."
Diesel chugged away, leaving Thomas very unhappy indeed. He wished that he didn't have to go to the beach after all. Thomas dragged his wheels slowly along the track. He was very worried. Finally, Thomas reached the supply shed. Workers had loaded his freight cars with windbreaks and deck chairs. Thomas puffed slowly on his way. He was thinking about the curse of the cliffs. Suddenly, he saw Harold the helicopter. Harold had bad news. "Thick fog rolling in on the headland," Harold shouted. "Puff carefully, Thomas." And Harold whirred away over the treetops. Thomas was very scared now. "What if what Diesel said about the curse of the cliffs is true?" tooted Thomas. "I could get lost in the fog and never be seen again." Thomas puffed fearfully towards the cliffs. Thomas was approaching a tunnel when he saw Ben. Ben looked unhappy. "What's the matter?" asked Thomas kindly. "I was enjoying myself until I met Diesel," said Ben unhappily. "He told me a monster lives in the tunnel.